Welcome everyone to episode 132 of Raw Sport. My name is Ahmed Al Houli, and today do we have a special guest, the man himself, one of the greatest coaches in the game, the man who led the biggest star in boxing to topple the former biggest star in boxing, Mr. Canelo Alvarez, Mr. Bomac. Welcome to Raw Sport.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
My utmost pleasure, man. Bomac, you're a very busy man, so I really appreciate you taking the time to join me. Um, let's go back a bit in time. About a month, uh, the world was watching 70,000 in the arena. You guys brought back live to Vegas, the biggest card we've seen in years. Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. You were in his corner, leading the charges, leading the troops. A very different fight week. We saw other fight nights happen. You were very busy, of course. What was the atmosphere like? What was the vibe like in Vegas?
Oh man, the vibe and atmosphere was electrifying. You know, which we anticipated. We really couldn't go nowhere in the city without somebody grabbing you for a picture or grabbing you for an interview. So we was well prepared for it, and we had our little duck offs and high hallways to go down, and where we can have some privacy.
So that was all pre-arranged.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we got a team of um what is those ladies called?
Ushers.
They handle all of the interviews and where we need to go, where we need to be. Publicists, uh, they handle all that and beforehand, so they know where we're going, and we ain't got to guess about where we're going, and so we can make it on time.
Big week.
And that's Julie Goldsticker and um, Jessica. I can't think
Yeah,
of
yeah,
Jessica's last name.
yeah, absolutely. What was the biggest standout from that fight week? Like, what stood out to you most? That you've been involved in many of them, and that means filling up stadiums in Nebraska, going to Scotland and beating Ricky Burns many years ago. Yeah, so you've been around, but that fight week, what stood out to you the most?
The most important thing, man, that I loved about it is we had good memories. We're gonna have good memories to come. Uh, you know, we know that the magnitude of the fight and that it was going to be on one of the top level ever of boxing thus far. So the memories, the workouts, the dinners and the breakfasts we all had together as team, and how we didn't let uh, didn't let the fight week throw us off the schedule or anything. It was just that was beautiful. That made the vibe really really comfortable and relaxed for the team as we was doing it.
Wow. What would you say was the key to beating a Canelo Alvarez?
The most important thing was for Terence to get that win was just do the things that we worked on in camp. Uh, you know, off working off the jab, working off the movement. Keeping him on an angle, going to the body. When he go wide, you go up the middle. Short things like that. Stay off. Work off the jab. Let your hands go. Punching bunches. So that was the most important thing. He got everything he needed to beat to Canelo. He had all the attributes. He just needed to let things flow the way he let it flow.
How do you prepare a fighter mentally for such a big occasion?
Well, you know, with a fighter like Terrence, you ain't got to prepare. You ain't got to prepare mentally because he's already there. You got to remember something. Terrence called Canelo out, so mentally he was already prepared uh, uh, for that moment, and you know, just getting the fighter's confidence. You know, confidence in the coaching staff and me is to make sure you discuss what's going on as far as what's going on in camp. While we working on this, and you do your film study. You have your talks after the gym. You have your talks before the gym. This is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna work on, and you do it. You just keep pounding and pounding and pounding in his head that till he probably gets sick and tired of hearing about it. But it pays off when you get in the fight because of the simple fact that he does it, and that's gratifying to a coach.
Absolutely. Big occasion. You guys have a large team. You guys kept your cool very, very well. I mean, even in the corners, everybody got their time to speak. There was one general. What's the key to that? That bonding, that understanding between you and your team.
That's funny because we just was downstairs having breakfast, and um, I was I think Red said, "Man, we got a great corner," and we just start naming off other guys, other teams that got great corners like Virgil Hunter, Robert Garcia, Joe Diaz, and I said, "You know what, man?" I said, "Everybody that you named off, those trainers then got trainer of the year by the BWAA, and what's good about that is those guys have been together for years. You know what I'm saying? It's just like riding a bike. Jumping on that bike and it's time to go and pedal. It's just like that. If it's a small fight, if it's a big fight, whatever fight it is, you prepare for it because you've been working together for so long, and everybody knows their role. And there's no egotistic trainer or one who want to talk over another trainer. There's nothing like that, man. Everybody knows their role, and we get the job done.
Well, it's very impressive because usually when the stakes are high and you guys build a fighter like Crawford the way you guys have built it, we've seen it in the past. It's gotten to different trainers' egos, and it's really destroyed teams. But you guys have been able to put it. You guys have been able to keep it together, which is very very impressive. God bless.
Thank you.
Um, was there a moment during the fight that you knew that Crawford has it over him?
I think it was end of the seventh round. They kind of tied up a little bit, and he's just started what we call a silent agreement. Start tapping on Bud like, okay, okay, all right, you can let me go now, or because I think they got in the trenches, and then Bud just kind of like threw him on the ropes to show that man, I'm stronger than you, regardless, I'm stronger than you. Then Canelo back was on the ropes, and he tapped him, and I was like, I said, did he just tap him? Did he just make that agreement? And as I go back and watch the fight, yeah, he tapped him. And I think it was the end of the eighth round. Canelo stuck his hand out trying to be like, okay, good round. In the boxing world, with boxers and trainers, that's what you call a silent agreement. All right, you're kicking my ass now. Okay, you probably can let up a little bit, but that's when I knew that we had him.
And Crawford didn't. He kept going.
No, he didn't touch. No, no, buddy. I mean, you could touch. Afterwards, good fight. You know what I'm saying? Put your life on the line for this good fight, man. And you admire him, you respect him, but that's how it went.
As a victory, obviously you guys celebrate as a team, and this win was a huge one for you all, basically. What did this win mean for Team Crawford, for all your legacies as coaches, as Crawford himself?
Man, it just shows to the boxing world that you know you take risks, you get big reward. It just shows to the boxing world you can be who you set out to be. Uh, as a fighter and as a trainer. You know, some trainers get into it just to be getting into it, but some trainers get into it to want to go to the Hall of Fame, and that's one of my biggest pet peeves. Is I want to go to the Hall of Fame, dog. You know what I'm saying? As a trainer, and I know Bud gonna go to the Hall of Fame as a fighter, so that's very very important to me.
Wow. How did Canelo surprise you guys, if if at all?
Say that again.
How did he surprise you guys? Canelo Alvarez during the
Oh
fight. Anything surprise you guys?
no, nothing, nothing. He did exactly what we thought he was going to do. Exactly, he threw the same type of punches we watched over and over and over again. He did exactly what we thought he was going to do, and we prepared to 125, maybe 150% for what he was going to do. Whatever he tried to do, he couldn't do it with Terence because Terence nullified it and then pressed on.
Is Terence Crawford a once in a generation fighter?
He definitely is, man. He definitely is. He reminds me of a Marvin Hagler.
Wow, yeah, he's got that vibe about him. When he's locked in, you just know that he's going to come in and just put on a show. Really, you can just see it in
Exactly.
his eyes.
Yes,
What was it
it's
like
great.
walking out? What was it like walking out to 70,000 people? You probably never experienced that before.
Yeah, hey, listen, man, we've been into some big fights, but that's probably what the biggest. But being on that level, you tone the crowd out, you tone the fans out. You know what I'm saying? You tone them out. You tunnel vision when it's right.
Yeah,
Walk to that room, it's tunnel vision. You hear all the hollering, hey man, this, that, this, and that, this, and that, and the other. But hey, it's time to go to work. Time to go to work. Put your hard hat on, get your lunch pail, and let's go to work. And then we can acknowledge the fans when we get done.
absolutely. Bomac Crawford throughout his career, there was so many people saying, you should have gone to Al Heyman, you should have done this, you should have done that. But he stuck by his principles the whole way through. And he ran his own show. And at the end, he got the reward. I mean, massive fight, massive payday. Probably now will go down in the history books. Probably the greatest fighter of our time in most recent time. How do you instill that? How do you guys control that environment? Because that's really tricky. Most fighters would have caved in.
Man, it's funny because when I think about the question and I think about this answer I'm about to get, you you kind of live it. You kind of live it. I remember when them guys was young, 15, 16 years old, and we would go over scenarios like we in now. And well, what you got to say? What would you do? This is me questioning these guys when they was 16, 17, 13, 14. What you gonna do when this happened? What you gonna do when that happened? And so me as a trainer, when they was amateurs, I was mentally preparing these guys for that big moment or for those moments when your career seemed like it's at a stall. You have to stay patient and you got to stay loyal to your craft and keep working on your craft. Your time is going to come. They cannot deny a fighter. The boxing world cannot deny a fighter that is really good because your time is going to come because somebody out there is going to want to know how good you are. And once your time come, that's your time to shine. Those all the years you've been in the gym, that's what you're working for. And I knew that when I was younger. I knew that when I was in boxing, when I was fighting professional. So I wanted to make sure those guys, those kids, which was Bud, Red is in the corner with us. He was fighting on the same team with Bernie, with Bud, Bernie, and we worked on it from day in and day out. Just having fun in the gym, and as you continue on in life after 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years, and so on, being with these young fellas, damn near every day, you you can see what I say. You got to look at the whole picture. Look at from the start to finish, and try to mentally prepare them for that time when it do come, so you'll be ready.
Wow, it's powerful. It's pretty powerful, my friend. I mean, that's vision,
Yeah,
and
that's
and,
that.
and that's and
Them
that's
there.
execution.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. And one thing I've learned uh from the time that Bud um from the amateurs until now, one thing I've learned is you gotta have patience. Ain't nothing gonna happen overnight. You gotta put the work in, and uh your time will come. So like all the fighters that wants to come over, you gotta tell them right off the top. You you not no Terence Crawford. So you gotta work for what you want. Ain't nobody gonna give it to you. You gotta work for it. And if you do come out to Olympics, there's gonna be a point in time where they're gonna set somebody in front of you to test you. So you always got to be on your P's and Q's. You always got to work on your craft. You always got to mentally be ready for that time when that time do come. Because the promotional company gonna get you this far, right here. That's when they say they're gonna see if you're gonna swim, sink, or swim, and you must swim in order for it to stay at the top.
I mean, Terence went through a lot of adversity with promotional companies too. I mean, there was the famous saying from Bob Arum talking about how many houses he can buy in Beverly Hills, and like it's tough, man. That's what like to if we're gonna summarize it all, Bomac, it's a very tough ride no matter who you are, right?
Exactly. Yeah. That's crazy when you hit your promoter, man. It doesn't have that confidence in you. You don't have that confidence in you. So that means telling me you're not pushing for me. You're not pushing for me to get to that next level. What man, what is they doing with my career? What is they doing? This is my life. This is my livelihood. There's no plan B. This is plan A, and this is the plan that I want to have for my life. That's tough, man, when you hear that shit. But when you got a good team around you that will stay focused and keep you grounded to make sure you get to that next level.
What's
One thing about me, man, I will tell you about this. One thing about me, and I always kept this in mind. It's not about it's not about me. Boxing and these fighters is not about me. It's about the fighter. You gotta have the fighter's best interest at hand, being a trainer, being a manager, you gotta be being a promoter. If you don't have the best interest at hand, you might as well just let him go and buy this business because you're holding him back. You gotta be well prepared mentally for things that comes up, just like what Bob said. Of course, I seen Terrence get mad and just be cool, but don't worry. Just stay the course. Stay the course. It's gonna be all right. But I'd rather for him to yell at me and get mad at me and then take it out on me than try to go out and take it out on in the public on something else where then they can talk bad about it. But we do it in the private of our own gym and still at the same time keep integrity about his attitude, his style, his career, and now look at the end. He won at the end.
wow, Bomac, you've thrown a few pointers tonight in this episode where coaches need to be taking out their notepads. Let's dig a bit deeper into this, right? I find this really intriguing. As a coach, you're hearing this talk from arguably one of the greatest promoters of our time. All right. And you have a young fighter who is at the top of the world at that stage. I remember Bud Crawford was selling out stadiums in Omaha, in Omaha, Nebraska. And the vibe was unbelievable, especially that fight against the little Cuban. I can't think of his name.
Gamboa.
Gamboa. I remember that fight like right now. The vibe in that stadium was like nothing I've seen before. He said it a lot. He fought Gamboa, both sides, southpaw, orthodox. He was there in front of him, and he took him out in fashion. And you look and you see these guys just sold out a whole stadium, and he done that multiple times on end, and he put on a show. And then you hear this from one of the greatest promoters in recent times. Bud's head would have been mash at this stage when he heard those words. As a coach, Bomac, how do you control a fighter's emotions at such a difficult situation in his career? Because he thinks he's on a high, then he gets smashed with a comment like that. So his emotions would be flying everywhere. How do you come in and keep him level-headed, as you've shown us?
Man, you just gotta. It's in the gym. It's in the gym, because a lot of different conversations go on in the gym, because that's where y'all spend your most precious time together, in the gym. And you just gotta talk to him, man. You just gotta have that fighter keep believing in himself, that he's going to get to that next level with the promotional company or without the promotional company. But you just got to make sure, listen, brother, I won't give a damn what nobody say about you or what they think about you or whatever they think about your boxing. You're going to surpass that, because one, you believe in yourself. Two, I believe in you. The hell with anybody else thing. And the main thing you got to keep in this kid's head, the fighter. So any coach you look out there listening to me, long as you keep winning, they can't deny you. I don't give a damn if you win by a decision or you win by a knockout. As long as you keep winning and you keep climbing that ladder, can't nobody deny you of your chance to be great. I promise you that. And one thing I'm gonna tell you where I learned this from. You got to keep winning. Is Cameron Duncan. One time we didn't get a stoppage. I said, "Is they Top Rank gonna be mad at us?" He's like, "I wouldn't give a damn if they is, as long as you keep winning." And that always stuck with me. You keep winning. Now it's great to have consecutive knockouts, so it can be a selling point for the promotional company to be able to sell you. But as long as you keep winning, the promotional company, the trainer, assistant trainer, whatever that's standing in your way, they cannot deny you of what's going to become of you being great. Because your time gonna come. Again, like I said this before, because somebody in this boxing world is gonna want to test you. And you want to test yourself and see how good you are. If you want to be great, you're going to go find the greatest fucking fighter out there in your weight division and see if you can beat him. And when you do, can't nobody argue with you after that.
Wow. Wow. There you go. Take out the notepads, ladies and gentlemen. Bomac, congratulations on that win. Amazing. Great stuff.
Yep.
Right now, I believe you are in preparation in training camp for the next probably biggest fight of the year, I'd say, in terms of crowd, status, media. Last time these two guys fought, it was unbelievable. Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn. You're training Eubank Jr. Where's he at mentally right now?
Man, he's great. He's doing great. He's doing really good, man. His focus is there. I promise you that.
It's beautiful to hear, because that last fight was a cracker. So adding you to his camp, more focus. Hopefully we'll see some more fireworks.
Yeah.
Under Bomac, do you believe Eubank Jr. can be a world champion again?
He definitely can. I definitely can. I just told him last week, and I said, after you beat this dude and you make a statement, they can't deny you. They can't deny you of a title shot. And this is what we in it for, right? To be great, right? Right. All right, then. You put yourself in that position, they can't deny you.
What do you see in Eubank Jr.? What made you say yes?
Man, Chris got so much dog in him. He got stuff you can't even teach. You can do all the things you want to do to sharpen up the edges and cross the T's and dot the I's, but you can't give the fighter no heart. Because you, as a trainer, you can't get in there and fight for him. So I can say everything I want to say to him about doing this and doing that, how to do this, how to do that, don't do this, do that, but you can't give him heart to set in on, to walk through that fire to get the job done, to get that win. A lot of fighters get popped and they start retrieving. You pop Chris, he coming for your ass because he want to get that back. You can't teach that. And I love that about him, man. I love that about him. And all you got to do with Chris is just fine tuning. That's all you got to do with Chris, fine tuning, because he got the attitude as a winner.
Bomac, they say you can't teach an older fighter anything new. What can you do to get him to that world champion level?
I told Chris this the other day, and I tell other fighters this too. I'm not telling you nothing you have never heard before. If you've been in boxing for this long, for 15 to 20 years, somebody have taught you this. You just haven't, it just haven't been brought out you. So whatever I'm saying to you, son, somebody done already said it. But it just take the trainer to bring it out you so you can be of the shine. You can get to that next level because you done already seen it. Boxing is like riding a bike. Once you learn it, you ain't gonna never stop learning it. It's always gonna be embedded in you. And all you gotta do is get there and put them gloves on, and it instantly gonna come back just like that. That's what working with, fighters on that level, that different level, or fighters got 20 plus fights. You just reminding them of some things that they haven't heard in years or a couple years, and just need to be sharpened up.
Interesting. Wow. And finally, what message do you have for fans watching Eubank's comeback? I mean, under the stewardship of Bomac.
Just watch for a good performance. You know what I'm saying? That's all. You know what I'm saying? Just watch him go out there and be great. Just watch him go out there and get that other win. You know what I'm saying? I ain't looking for nothing spectacular or nothing like that. Just sharpen him up. You know what I'm saying? We in shape to go 12 rounds, maybe 15. You know what I'm saying? But if that stoppage is there, we definitely going for it, young fellow. I promise you that. So I hope you got your fucking seatbelt on, because it's gonna be a ride.
There you go, man. Looking forward to it. The last one was an absolute cracker. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bomac, thank you very much for joining me on Raw Sport.
I appreciate you, man. Send me the interview, man, so I can put it out there too.
All right, brother. Thank you very much. Take care, everybody.